Let's go live. On three. 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. Good afternoon, everybody. ICP Squad. I'm Victor, ICP Squad. Today we have a very special, very special guest. We are going to unveil the face of the BOXYDUDE CEO. So many of you knew there was a takeover with BOXYDUDE NFT, and today we have the CEO. So without further ado, I would like to welcome in. You might know him on Twitter as Slayfin. So good afternoon, Slayfin. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to us and let us know about the future plans for the BOXYDUDE and BOXYDUDE Metaverse and all of those things going on.
Yeah, so I'm Slayfin. I've been in the ICP space for about over a year now, since IC Punks dropped on Intrapot or Intrapo, however you want to describe it. I've been working a lot with Meme Cake and getting their marketplace up and running with new projects to fill those gaps. With BOXYDUDE specifically, I've been really trying to rebuild that community. I think there was a little bit of a disconnect whenever the project initially started, and that kind of led into, just some tension between community members. And I was a part of that community from the very beginning and supported the project. So it just, I was in my office one day and just kind of hanging out with my new pups, and I got approached by the team, and they just need some help kind of getting the community back together, rebuilding some of those broken bridges. And that's really what I focused in on when I first joined, was just kind of changing that culture, changing the vibe, making it more inclusive, kind of just changing the overall character of the project. Shortly after that, we started doing some more promotions. I had some more projects approach us to want to collab and do some giveaways and whatnot. And it was actually pretty cool to see all the support from the community. Everyone was super excited to welcome me aboard, and it was really cool, just to kind of get started with all that. And as far as like our future plans, I mean, I'm sure everyone's already kind of familiar with the metaverse that we're building and kind of the plans that we have for that. But just to get everyone caught up, we're doing a land sale. It was originally going to be on November 1st, but we've since then pushed it over to the 12th of November, because we talked to some of our community members and they just wanted to have more of a weekend mint because it seemed more better for their schedule. But like we're really trying to build something special that the community can use their NFTs with. The idea that we had is basically locking the Boxy dude and the Boxy girl on the land, and then essentially breeding the baby. So all of the NFTs will have utility. They can all be utilized in different ways. One of the main nuances that we want to bring to the NFT breeding, metaverse space is the fact that, like, not only do we have Box token, but you can essentially, interact with your NFTs in ways like mini games, kind of like Plethora. If anyone's ever played that, shout out to them. It's just more of like a way for you to kind of like gather resources, sell those resources in the ecosystem. Every single land is going to have its own resources that it'll have as traits. So maybe you mint a land whenever the sale happens, and it has like mysterious rock. It might have apples or something else, right? You can farm those resources, kind of like with DSquad, right? You have your own little materials that you have, kind of similar to that, but you're crafting buildings, different things that you're going to be able to build on your plots. Maybe you sell those resources to someone else that's interested in doing those things, kind of like how y'all sell them on the Intrapo marketplace. So it's kind of like, inspired from a lot of the same ideas that some of our other projects in the community have, to kind of build that internal ecosystem to kind of trade.
So, with the release of the Cubetopia land, I think that was a huge success. By the way, I bought some islands, and I was like, yes, finally some volume going
Yeah.
into NFT markets. And I was pretty excited about that. So, do you think the your land sale will be similar to this? Is it going to be when you call it a metaverse, and then you compare it to D Squad? For example, with D Squad, the accessories and the things that you buy, you put them on your character, but they're all in 2D, right? There's no live game yet. I don't know if there will be, but with when it comes to Boxy Dude, like what is it going to look like? Like what is this land? And then can you explain to us round one, round two, whitelisting? I know right now we're doing a contest that we posted on ICP Squad, where everyone who owns an ICP Squad avatar is going to be whitelisted for this. But we're also going to give away 2 Boxy Dudes. So what does that look like? What are those round one, round two? How many rounds are there? And what is it actually going to look like? Can you expand on that, Mr. Slayfin?
Yeah, sure. So basically just starting from round one, we wanted to grant exclusivity to our holders. I think doing our community service to make them, feel included in the project more so than ever. Getting that exclusive first round sell. I know I would want that if I wasn't part of the project. So I think that's really the first focus for us is just getting them the originals, the minted original lands, the 62 exclusive 4 to 5 attribute worlds will be minted first. So it's kind of like a pre-round, if you will. Um, so if you hold a Boxy original couple, so they don't have to match, they're just basically two originals, boy and girl. You're basically holding those in the same wallet around the time that we take the next snapshot, and then you're basically going to um, be able to be eligible for that many mints. So if you have, let's say, 5 couples that are originals, you get 5 lands that you can mint for the same exact price as everyone else. So you're kind of getting an extra perk to get more attributes. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're better, right? Because you could get all wood. And not that that's bad, but you might want diamonds or something else. It's still worth it to not hold an original. You might pull something better, but it's all gamified in that way. Round one will start. It's all going to be one ICP equivalent in box token at the time of mint. We'll run that for a couple of hours, granting our community more time to get that done. And then we'll open it up to the public, which is also whitelisted. So if you're a partnered project like D Squad, they're going to be able to go in there and mint their NFTs unlimited until it mints out. And then basically after the mint, you will receive a land NFT that's going to represent your land at a later date. It's going to be like a pre-reveal NFT. I want to color code them or have some type of indicator that gives you an idea of how many attributes it will have. So maybe you won't know where it is in the metaverse or what it will look like in the final results, but you'll have a good idea of how many traits it's going to have. Like this is going to have 3 attributes. You may not know what they are yet, but you will know it will have a certain amount of attributes. The reason for this is we want to give our art team enough time to go ahead and get that processed and really work on breeding next, but start the speculation of, getting the land out now. So that's kind of the main focus.
I think that's very important. One more thing I would like to add. I'm really glad that these projects are kind of community driven and driven by people who I've seen in the community. I've personally been with you on Twitter Spaces, so I've heard you before. We've talked, we said a lot of things. We've even hung out probably a little bit after. But what I do want to say is, can you tell us about your community involvement? How long have you been with the community? I personally, whenever I can speak, and you guys know this because I like to invite other ICP YouTubers on the channel, and I also invite NFT projects on the channel. Some of them respond, some of them might not want to come back, but I do like the fact that I can put a face to the project, right? At least one of the team member, if possible, all of the team members, and I can feel comfortable that this is not a rug pull, right? This is a real project with a real person behind it. I can see the effort that they're putting into it. So can you tell us about your community involvement, kind of like how long have you been, maybe for those that are watching that haven't met you, kind of like, I don't know, your philosophy, how long have you been around, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure, man. I come from Solana. I come from ETH. come from Cardano, so I'm multi-chain. I stumbled upon the ICP ecosystem around the time that IC was minting. Like I said earlier, it was really early intrapo. You had 2 NFTs listed on there. I was messing around on Discover. Fast forward a couple of months, I ran into Poseidon, Una, bunch of other people on Twitter started memeing about Hefe, and then at the time, I had already minted BOXYDUDE. I was part of the community. They had kind of a rough start, as you may remember, they did the refund. I actually used my refund to buy more because I wanted to support them. And, I was, you know, just very sketched out at first because I was like, damn, this was really unique art. I was really vibed about it. And then it just, something went wrong. And then, kind of fast forward a little bit more, the community kept growing. There was a little bit of tension between a couple of projects, without naming names. It was just, you know, typical chain drama stuff. And then it just kind of escalated from there. So it just, that kind of stuff died whenever I took it over. Like it really has stopped, and everybody has been very supportive. Um, I really wanted to get us more involved with events, doing some collab stuff with XBAR Labs, because that was kind of my home base before I went to Boxy full time. I was helping build up that project and advise for Steven, one of the founders. Um, and I noticed a lot of Boxy dudes were there, so I would always go pop in there and hang out with a few of my friends that were in that server. But I've always kind of been around in the Discord, on Twitter, commenting and stuff. But like I've just been really ingrained in the ecosystem, just wanting to help it grow. Because I mean, I've been all around different blockchains and just kind of found my stuff on the internet computer. And there's just so much going on here, like ever since I know that whenever we first started on this ecosystem back in early IC Punk days, till now, it's grown so much.
All right, that's good. So guys, if you're watching, I am reading the comments, so drop your comments below. We'll ask questions. If you have questions about Boxy, about the land sale, the rounds, or anything to Slayfin, I will gladly read them aloud for you. I think he might be reading them as well. So something I do want to point out, I'm really glad, like you're saying, you met Poseidon and you met Huna. I used to pronounce her name differently. I was like,
Yeah.
Huna. But you met all these people and started memeing about Hefe and stuff. And I'm really glad that exists in our ecosystem. So when Dfinity first started and it was ICP, I remember a lot of the content that we would have, it would just be coming from Dfinity. And I'm not complaining, right? I appreciate professionalism and stuff like that. But I would watch all these videos and they would be so, I guess, so fancy, right? And
Yeah.
kind of like we're announcing our new latest launch, like magnesium alloy or something like
They have
that.
like the intros and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and it would be it would be a lot like that. And a lot of the thing, a huge part of cryptocurrency that I appreciate, especially for tokens that have maybe are just fun driven or meme driven. I don't want to say no utility because that sounds kind of like if they're worthless, which they're not. And I'm not saying Boxy is one of those, but one of the big things that I appreciate is kind of community building. So there's a lot of servers. I hang out a lot in like the WAGME Discord server and stuff like that. But cryptocurrencies and NFTs, especially post-pandemic, and maybe even a lot during the pandemic, where you have lockdowns, you have people staying at home, are in a way kind of like group of friends that circulate or revolve around a similar interest, right? So you have a bunch of people, you all want number to go up, right? Or you want new, of course you do. You want number to go up, line go up forever, whatever. But you have a bunch of people that really do care about each other, and it's a little bit more informal. It's a little bit more fun. I specifically the people you mentioned, Poseidon, Huna. I feel I'm going to say it wrong, and
Yeah.
you, Slayfin, and a lot of those people. I had a lot of fun with that, reading those like Hefe memes and seeing memes. It really brought kind of like that Solana vibe or Chainlink vibe, right? Which I think was
Yeah.
very much needed. I think that's one of the main reasons. For example, what is his name? DK Lord's OG
Hmm.
Metals drop. I think that's one of the reasons it took off because it was memes, right? It was fun. It was kind of like much needed. I don't think a lot of people want to invest in like something that's boring, even if it's the best tech in the world, right? We want to be entertained as well. We want to be part of a community. We want to post memes. We want to consume memes, right? And I think that's super important. So I'm glad you're one of the people to bring that up and kind of light fire to that. Um, I believe there's a whole class of people that are excited about buying government bonds or something like that, and all sorts of financial assets. But I think the crypto people, we might have some of those, but in large part, I think it's not much like that. I think so a lot of us we wanna buy memes. We want to be a part of a community. We want to look at things that are funny. In a way, looking at things that are funny is a utility, right? So if you buy an NFT or if you invest in a project and your feed suddenly becomes entertaining, right, and funny and community, that is utility. That's a utility on top of the other project utility. So thank you for that. Thank you for being a part of that. I'm glad I'm going to see Boxy become a part of that. As I was saying, guys, in the comments, leave comments below. We'll read them out loud. If not, we'll have some of our last finishing words. But anything else you would like to add, Slayfin?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, too much, not enough time as always. But one of the main points I want to drive home about our project is, that we do have a token. It's Box token. And one thing that I find very interesting, and I've found very interesting about this, is that it does have a fixed supply of 85 million, right? So what we want to do with this token and what we're showcasing with our mint is specifically the utility of using it as a currency, a store of value. Because we don't have any inflation with the token itself other than it entering the market into circulation. And we want it to be kind of like the go-to token, not just for our project, but for other projects that are minting. So like if they want to use that as their collateral instead of ICP, that's what we want to be able to do in addition to the project that we're building. So like if you want to essentially sell your lands using Box token, that's on the roadmap. Like that's a huge thing. And I think that's one of the things that we want to showcase is just the fact that, I haven't seen another token use itself as currency on the native network. And that's kind of a first that we want to be a part of. As well as, obviously building our community out, growing our holders. That's my main mission as CEO, is to make sure that we have 2,000 to 5,000 holders at some point, because that not only helps this project, but it also helps other projects, getting more eyes on their teams and stuff like that. So lots of really cool things to look forward to, but let's look into some questions.
Nice. So that I think that's huge. A lot of tokens, they focus, which is good. I'm not criticizing this by any means. They focus on bringing utility to the project. So the X, Y, and Z token is going to be used for this, and that, which is good. That's always good. But something that you have to keep in mind is the ICP network is so fast and it's so cheap to use. So even in my mind, I was like, the ICP token could be a better cryptocurrency token for store of value than like 99% of the things out there. I mean, it's faster than Litecoin, it's faster than Bitcoin, it's faster than Dogecoin. It's
Yep.
so freaking fast. Like if we were to just completely forget about cycles and storing things on Web3 and blah 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 and just use ICP as a currency, oh my gosh, it would be like the fastest cryptocurrency in the world.
That's why I
The
love it.
internet, yeah, the internet computer could host like central bank digital currencies. Like I'm not saying I'm in favor of those, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
our network could host that. Like it could host something as big as that, and it might in the future. So making tokens that can be used for that, or even used outside of our ecosystem, even used on Web 2 just for tipping purposes, like maybe like the what is it called, the Brave token,
Ghost.
yeah, like Ghost or like Brave, that you can tip creators and stuff like that. I mean, it would be insane. You can if you see a post, you can tip him like 1 penny, 5 pennies or something, and you can do that all day with almost no fees, right? So I think that's huge, and I also think it's a flex that we can just create currencies out of thin air. I mean, NFT projects can create currencies, and they
We're
can
buying
be,
pictures.
yeah, we're buying pictures. We're
It's
buying pictures,
crazy.
and I think that's, a lot of people make fun of like DJing this and no purpose that and whatever. But no, philosophically, it's a flex. We can create our own money. And
Yep.
we can give it value because we want to, right? Like every time you buy a cryptocurrency, even if it has like a dog or a cat or whatever, and a lot of people might think is dumb, if at a fundamental philosophical level, it's not dumb. We're saying to the establishment, like, we can create our own currencies out of a picture of a dog, right? And we can trade amongst ourselves, right? We're not dependent only on the US dollar or the euro, the pound, whatever. Like we can make currencies out of cartoons if we wanted to. So at least that's how I view it. So of course there's speculation and pump and dumps and whatever. And I would say not in ICP that much yet. Hopefully we don't see that in other tuts. But it's a huge flex. So I'm glad you're focusing on that. Just we want to make a currency. Like that's
Yeah.
fantastic. You even the most simple currency running on ICP will probably be far superior to many other cryptocurrencies. But let's read some of the comments. Dan Reese says, "Boxy to the moon." I'm with you, Dan Reese. Boxy to the moon. What will ICP do to prevent redacted from being used on Web3? The current system doxed anti-mainstream, but still allows child blank. So I don't know, Jackson. I think that's a very serious question. As of now, I think the NNS would not allow that. I think most people in the world would be against that. So I personally, I've never heard of anything of that happening yet, and I hope it doesn't. So if it does, I'll be the first one to vote against it and have it blocked. So I
Same.
think that's a good thing about the NNS. So I think I'm confident most people don't want that. So let's see, let's go. Rocket. Alejandro Mendoza says, I don't know what that I don't know what that emoji is called, but it looks like he just ate a bunch of hot sauce and he's like, box token price prediction: one box equal 21 million Bitcoin. There you go. To
Holy
the moon.
shit. Yeah.
ICP 1000. So that's good. I don't know if they put a whole bunch of burning mechanisms that could be possible. It could be possible.
Yeah.
We just have to burn 99.99999% of the supply.
Well,
And
just to kind of touch on that a little bit, since we're kind of talking about burning and what we speculate may happen. I'm not here to really pump price or anything, but I want to grow our holder count. I want to get more people interested in the project. So I think one of the cool things that I'd like to go over is the fact that like Boxy token, we're going to be basically lock up Boxy token on land. So right now you have ICP swap, you have Sonic. Those are the two main ways that you can earn through liquidity mining and through other stuff, right? But we want to take everyone's individual lands and say, okay, so you want to lock it up your box token for an extended period of time. Like this isn't like what we're currently experiencing where you can harvest and withdraw. You're basically taking your box token and staking it for like a couple of months as an example. So removing it from the circulating supply. And that's what we intend to do with the mint funds. That's why we're taking it exclusively in box token and not ICP. So that way we can take that total out of circulation, put it into a rewards fund, for the team or for the holders or for liquidity or for a centralized exchange down the road once we get to that point, which we are pursuing. But it's just things like that, like other than just staking it on a DEX or something like that, you're going to be able to use your land as a staking bank for your box token. So when you basically do that and you lock it up, it gets taken out of supply. And then we can probably do something like the NNS where we have like a DAO where you're using kind of like an NNS structure to vote on events and things within the Boxyverse. So that's kind of something we're exploring right now as well. Still planning, because obviously we got to sell the land first, but a lot of this will come after.
I think that's amazing. That's some really good stuff. So guys, thank you again for showing up. I want to remind everybody that there is an ongoing, and we're going to extend it just a little bit. There's an ongoing giveaway. So go on Twitter, go to ICPSquad, right, Dfinity community, and look for the post. We're going to be giving away, thank you, Slayfin, 2 Boxy dudes, so you get a chance to receive that. So go like, retweet, make sure to follow our newsletter, sign up to our newsletter at definitycommunity.com. All of those links will be below. If you want to follow Slayfin and Boxy Dude, that will also be in the description below. So thank you guys very much for joining us. Thank you, Slayfin. Thank you, everybody, and see you at the moon.